Howdy all and welcome back to my channel. I'm Liam. Sorry, my voice might sound a bit croaky. I've been a little unwell as over the last couple of days, but it still hasn't stopped me. Round to go for round 14's torture round, as most people will call it. For me, it's actually not overly too bad in the end. I planned pretty well for this. I was lucky. I don't have any Richmond. I've got one Richmond player and no West Coast players, so that extra week, extra two teams didn't overly affect me that much. So coming into this, I'll have 19 players, which compared to a lot of teams I'm seeing out there, with probably on average probably like 16. Um, I'm actually looking at a pretty decent spot this week. 19, only five. It still includes five rookies technically on field with Robertson, Madden, who I'm bringing in this week. Also bringing this week, and Newcomb. So my trades, as it stands, I'm just doing two one up, one downs. With Rowe down to Briggs, it gives me enough cash. This a little upgrade from Jordan to Langford, who will eventually end up in my midfield. Just placeholding in my midfield for now, so I can field more players. My other move is still thought down to Madden, give me cash to get Burns up to Tommy Mitchell. I'm still deciding on either Mitchell, Walsh or Wines. I think it's a pretty big call for a lot of people this week. I just think past history, ceiling, I think Mitchell's probably the pick out of the bunch. Wines is certainly a nice pod, but he hasn't produced these numbers before. But you could say the same thing for Parrish, and he's dominating. But just not a name that just kicks out to you as a fantasy scorer. Walsh is certainly someone but with Carlton struggling, I know Hawthorn also struggling, but I feel like I just see Mitchell as just an option that I feel like I can captain Tom Mitchell throughout weeks, whereas Walsh and Wines, I would probably feel afraid to put this captaincy on him, captaincy on them because of their unknown. So that's my half reasoning. It's probably not the best, but I've gone with Mitchell. 125 last week. He also has has the lowest break even out of the bunch, I believe, or Wine's just. But with his scoring, I don't see him being 770k for much longer. So that's who I'm bringing in this week. Onto captain options, of course. The VC, you got two options, two chances this week with buy players. The easiest one is just to put the C on Gorn. It looks good. Hopefully he will be just left like that. I think McRae is a pretty solid option this week against Geelong. They are a bit stingy, but they seem to let off one player. One player seems to get off the loose. I think McRae probably will be the one. Bontempelli is also one, but that could be an option. But if you've got those two, McRae is certainly my number one. Took Miller's another VC option this week. I missed Guthrie as well. Could chuck it on him as well. With Miller, Port's like Geelong, been very stingy as of late, but his form has just been insane. So there's no harm just chucking a VC on him and hoping for a 115, 120, which I feel like 115 is the mark this week, with limited options available. So yeah, McRae probably is my number one, and Took's probably number two VC options. In terms of captain options this week, you also could have a shot at Taranto against Carlton. They seem to give it Taranto or Kelly against Carlton, and even Hall against Brisbane is another VC option. I probably wouldn't want to captain any of those, but certainly a VC it'll probably be Hall 3, Kelly 4, Taranto 5. Captain options, Parrish is probably number 1. Warple's out. No one's going to tag him. In stunning form, I don't see anything less than 125. Number 2, Merritt also against Hawthorn. Hawthorn seems to give up some big numbers. I think I see Essendon dominating this game, so Parrish and Merritt probably top 2. Mitchell, again, as I said before, he's more of a captaincy option over a Wines and a Walsh. I personally feel so. He's my number 3, but I'll go Merritt over him if McRae does stink up. So those are probably the main ones for this week. Walsh against GWS, who let Cunnington and Simpkin go 120 last week. Yes, but there's so many better options out there. And you just wouldn't. His Wines is just not a play. You would just chuck a VC or a C on. It's just not as of yet. Maybe next year if he continues his form, but sometimes names just throw you off a bit. And I'm not VCing Duncan for a while after that failed last week. So those are my trades this week. Good luck for everyone who's still watching these videos. Thank you. I'm very appreciative of all the comments I get asking for help. I love helping teams out. I know my team's in a little bit of a dumps at the moment, but if I could benefit anyone else and help them to be successful, that makes me very happy. So hopefully you'll have a good weekend, and I'll catch you Sunday evening with hopefully a more positive review and back up last week, and hopefully can slide into the top 10k with having 19 players. Please, 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 please.